Hello, Mrs. Campos. I just want to thank you for taking time out of your busy schedule to come sit with me and talk about Shelly's scores today. A couple months back, she took the Iowa Test of Basic Skills, and what this is just an achievement test. An achievement test is a broad, over a broad curriculum of the things that we hope that our students are learning in our schools today. Now, the very top of this test right here is our norm reference group. And what that is a number of around 1,500 students, maybe a little more, a little less, of students around our nation that have taken this test that have different backgrounds. They're all the same age, or the same grade level, I should say, that have taken this test and give us just an average score of what we should be doing in our nation. Now, we take this score and we compare it to Shelly's scores to make sure that Shelly is just basically where she should be in our nation. And she's learning the same things that a student, like let's say in Ohio, is learning as well. Now, we're going to look, and right here is our standard score. And what this is just basically the number of correct scores. We put it into a formula, and we get a score that can be used across all tests. So we use the Iowa test. So let's say a student in California uses a California test. They use a different formula but get the same number range, so we can compare all tests across the board. Right here it says GE. This would be our student's grade equivalent. As you can see, it says 5.5. Now, that's not saying that Shelly should be in the 5th grade, but what it is saying is that a student in the 5th grade and in the 5th month should score the same as Shelly did. Right here we have NS, which is our national stay-nine, and the number underneath is 6. If you look at this paper right here, these are all of the things we use to gauge on tests. The inside the yellow is where our students should fall as an average. Now, if we go down here to national stay-nine, it's a number between 1 and 9, just an easy way to show that where our students lie. If Shelly scored a 6, she's right here in the middle. 5 is average, so she is a little above average in vocabulary. If we go up, we as teachers like to use the bell curve. This shows us that our students should all fall between this rank right here, and its numbers are anywhere from 34.13 to 34.13, and that's just like about our average. 0 sounds a little weird as being average, but that is our average. And we also use percentile equivalents, which we'll talk about later, and the average number would be 50, so keep that in mind, that 50 is not a bad score. As we go back over here, we see our core total. Now, what core total is all of our core curriculum. That's like our reading, our language arts, math, and we get all those numbers, we average them. And Shelly's is a 209, which is good, as you can see here. Her grade equivalent average for her core would be a 5.4, which is good considering Shelly's only in the 4th grade. Her national stay-nine average would be a 6. If we go look like we did before, 6 is a little bit higher than average, but it still falls in that average rank. If we look right here, this is our national percentile rank. Now, these scores are showing that Shelly scored better than that percentage. So if we look right here under vocabulary, 75, that would be saying that Shelly scored 75% better than our norm group. If we go back to our core total, it's 71. Overall in her core, she scored 71% better than the norm group. Down here is our composite. The things that make up our composite is our social studies, science, and source of information, which would be stuff is maps, any kind of materials like that we use, diagrams, stuff like that. Again, her average was 210 for that, her grade equivalent was 5.4, and her national stay-nine was 6. It's exactly the same, 71% of her national percentile rank she scored better than. We go down, all this does is basically break down everything that Shelly scored into a better understanding, so we can see exactly where she needs help or exactly where she excelled. It's easier to do reading comprehension. We break it down into factual understanding. Out of the total items, there was 17, so that means 17 questions. Right here it says number attempted. She attempted all 17. The percent correct was 71, so she scored 71% correct out of all of them. The national group, like the norm reference group, was 58. So they scored a 58% and Shelly scored 71.
Oh, so Shelly did better, right?
Yes.
Oh, I thought she was failing because she only got a 71%.
See, and that's why we have to remember when we look on here that a 50 is our average. So if we look and Shelly scored the 71%, 71 falls right here. It's in between our yellow. That's perfect. Shelly is right on. If you want to go ahead and take a look, I know I just gave you a bunch of information. We have many subtests and many numbers here. So if you want to look over, see anything that might concern you or anything like that.
Ms. Ludwig, I noticed that Shelly didn't do too well in capitalizations. Does that mean she's flunking English? What's happening there?
No, we'll look right here. In capitalization, she has a little trouble with names, organizations, and groups when she took this test. We have to remember this is a couple months old. She did attempt 3 out of the 3, but she didn't get any correct. That's not bad because if you look at what the national did, they got 39. So 39 still is in the average, but it's a little bit below. We have been working with Shelly. We've been working actually not only with Shelly, but in the class as a total. I have some papers here. The paper here shows that we have worked on it in not only capitalization but punctuation as well. So if you want to go ahead and take a look over this, she has done very well recently. This paper is actually from this past week, so it is very accurate. I also wanted to let you know that I brought her portfolio with me. It's right here, and as you can see, it's all tabbed and labeled of all the things that we have worked on since this year has started. If you want to go ahead and look over this, it has all of my comments on it, places for improvement, if she's gotten hundreds, anything like that. Shelly is a very good student, so there's not really much that we can work on, but if there's anything else that you would like to ask or know about, just let me know.
No, I think it looks pretty good. If I have any questions later on, I can always call you, right?
Yes, you can call me, email me, stop in for more appointments. I did prepare these flashcards though that work with estimation because estimation was a place where Shelly scored a little low and we haven't worked on it in class as much, so she could use a little extra help. You can use these in the car, at the kitchen table, anywhere. They're really accessible. She can work on them by herself or you guys can do them together. If there's anything else that we need to talk about before I let you go, just let me know.
So Shelly's doing really good in reading, but kind of poor. Where did you say?
I said it was estimation is a little bit low, but like I said before, it's just a little bit low. It's not anything extreme. There were no scores on here that were very extreme, except for the names, organization, and group capitalization. But as I showed you, she already has worked on it. She's gotten 100 on her papers, and that was recently. So everything looks very well, actually.
Okay, well, thank you very much.
Thank you. Well, thank you for stopping in, and I love having Shelly in my classroom.
Thank you. Bye.